Hey, 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 beautiful souls. Kristen Lee, aka Super K here, and I just want to share this with you before I start my live. Look at this amazing oak tree. It is so big, they had to put a stand of another oak tree next to it. This is wild. This is called the Old Century. This live oak tree is estimated to be 100 years older than when Florida became a United States territory in 1821. Isn't that wild? It is so glorious. So yeah, I want to come to you guys today about talking about standing in your power and knowing your truth and shining your light so bright that it's hard to not see you being authentically you. And this is something that has rung true for me in standing in my power. You know, many people know me as, Kristen Lee, aka Super K. Oh, do I still know my teeth? Oh, yes, I do. Look at that. I just had an awesome Parmesan lunch. I got some stuff stuck on my teeth. All right, we're going to leave that there. All right, I can't get it out right now. But yeah, I just had an amazing lunch with a great group of people and BNI members, and it was interesting because normally I don't shine my light the way I do online with all you guys when I'm in that scenario, and I started asking myself why. Where, when I get in that situation, it's all business owners from around my area, professional business owners, and BNI is Business Network International. And so it's a business meeting where you meet once a week. You get a 60-second presentation. I do it for my nonprofit, the Heart and Soul Project, and you send referrals within that community. And it's an amazing group, but I noticed that I don't shine like my high vibe self as I do when I come live with you guys. And I was asking myself why, and I realized that I kind of play it safe because I wonder what people are going to think of me, of my high vibrational self. And sometimes I bring it up, like every time I do my presentation there, where you get a 7-minute presentation to present your business, I always go as Super K with the fun, wild, colored hair, and they all receive it well. So it's more in my own head of not letting myself be authentically me because of fear of judgment. And instead of showing up as my vibrant self every week, I kind of tone it down because I want to meet people where they're at, yes, because not everybody is ready for, raising the vibration and consciousness of humanity the same way I am. And they're a little more serious, but I realize that doesn't mean I have to stop shining my light as bright as I am, because maybe by me being my outgoing, vivacious self, it will give someone else permission to do the same. And so today at the BNI lunch, just having normal small talk around the table, and the woman next to me, she said, "Kristen, did I hear that you just got back from a cruise where you made contact with extraterrestrials and UFOs?" And I said, "Actually, yes." And so I was able to share my truth of this amazing trip I went on, a cruise where we made contact with extraterrestrials out at sea. And for those of you who may be tuning in new, I've been communicating with extraterrestrials. It sounds wild and nuts. But following Dr. Stephen Greer's protocols, communicating with them for the last 3 years and starting to get that word out and stop hiding behind, hey Jennifer, great to see you. Stop hiding behind the shadows of who I think I'm supposed to be accepted in society, and coming out. So I started writing and starting to get out of my shell, writing Cliff Note style conscious books. Information that I've received from my spirit guides, extraterrestrials, and they're called Conscious Cliff Notes. So if you want, you can go check those out at consciouscliffnotes.com. It'll bring you to my Amazon page of those. And again, I have plenty more than I need to put up. I've got probably about 20 or so waiting in the queue that I haven't reread, that I've written from, months ago, of downloads, information. When I say downloads, I mean information coming through me. But I want to talk about stepping in your authentic self, because that's where the power comes. And I realized today at the lunch when I was talking about this, I was radiating and vibrating so high and feeling so happy, speaking and being in my element. And that is where our true power lies, is in our authenticity. And so many times I just realized in my life, I'll show up differently. And yes, I'm not the same, energetic self. I have to, well, I don't have to. I do, and maybe I shouldn't. I meet people where they're at, so that way they can understand on the vibration they're at. Because sometimes I can be so high vibe and talking such high consciousness stuff that I lose people where they're at, where I need to bring it to where they're at. But at the same time, I'm working on making sure that I stand in my authenticity no matter where I'm at, rather than cowering down and going, oh, no, or, just going yes and brushing it off. We sat there for a good 30 minutes talking about the extraterrestrials, about the UFOs, and what is truly meant, that the messages they're trying to give us, rather than, just looking at them as outsiders. Realize that we're all brothers and sisters in a sense, and we are all able to communicate. And so I was just sharing with her. She goes, wow, this is so profound. And she goes, this is something I would never have thought to be interested in, but it really opened my eyes to want to learn more. And that's when I realized, by me being my authentic self, it opened up someone else's mind who may not have been open before to explore, to hear someone else's perspective on things, not to judge, but just to go, interesting, I've never heard of that. And so it really resonated with me as, you know what, Kristen, just stay in your authenticity. And when I notice my authenticity being diminished, and it's all done by me, I can't blame anyone, but sometimes people's energies are a lot more fierce and strong around me, where they try to scare me out of being my authentic self. And I notice when I start catering to that, I start falling into a more lower vibrational state. I start getting tired and drained, and that's when they call them energy vampires for a reason, because they suck the energy out of you. And it leaves me feeling depleted. And then I notice when I'm not authentic for a few days in a row, not that I'm not being myself, but I'm not speaking my truth, that I start to feel slightly depressed. And it's because I'm withholding all of that energy that wants to go through me, and I'm preventing it from releasing, where I'm holding it quiet and holding it hostage. So I've done some experiments. Many of you who have watched me know about the BioWell machine, a machine that I use to scan my biofield. Yes, Corey, all is one. And I've done experiments where I'd scan after I just had an amazing time with friends and just speaking my truth, being my authentic self. And my biofield is so expanded. My chakras, especially my heart chakra, are so full of energy, because it can tell how much energy is in each chakra. And my heart chakra is always blown out with just so much energy, which is so beautiful. And then when I tested them around people that are lower vibration, not consciously awake to our human potential, that it sucks my energy and my biofield diminishes. And I feel tired and lethargic. All I want to do is sleep. And it's something that we have to become more aware of, that every thought, every emotion, every action is not just affecting us alone. It actually affects the collective consciousness. It affects you and me. So when we go out in public, it's so important to be aware and be conscious of what we are, how we are showing up. Are we showing up as our best self, happy self? Like, have you ever walked into a grocery store? I use this example a lot, where all of a sudden you just walk over, like maybe in the produce section, you walk over to an area and you're like, oh, this energy feels heavy. Like all of a sudden you just feel like this ick. It's because you've walked into someone's biofield. That's their life force energy, this invisible life force energy that goes several feet outside of our body. And when you walk into that energetic field of someone else who had been there, you start picking up their emotional state. So if someone walked in there that was extremely sad or extremely angry, you walk into it, it starts affecting your biofield. And what's so important with this scientific study is when you're around someone, the one with the highest resonance, it could be of resonating anger, pain, shame, guilt, grief, or it could be resonating joy, happiness, peace. Whoever has the highest, strongest resonance will take over. It will start causing the other person's biofield to resonate at that same frequency. So what does this mean? Well, when you look at it with a family, so if any of you have kids or, a spouse, when you are around them, they start resonating at the same. Now, why this is important for children is because children are the most pure-hearted. Their energy is just so beautiful, they're so imaginative, and they have that curiosity and childlike wonder that we all need to get back to. But if you have two parents who are stressed, angry, miserable, and that's resonating in their biofield. It's affecting that child's perfect, beautiful resonance, because those emotions of anger and stress and frustration can be stronger than love and peace, especially when there's multiple parents in a household that have that same resonance. And that's why it's so important to try and meditate for 5-10 minutes a day, especially when you're going to be around others, to center and balance yourself, because you are affecting the collective. We are feeding the quantum field constant frequencies, thoughts, emotions, and when we stay in a stagnant place of being in those lower vibrational emotions, we end up dictating the energy around us. And if some people, they go, my life is just a mess, everything's falling apart. Well, it's because it's the trail of energy that's around you. It's what you're attracting. And it's so important to clean not only your body, but your energy field. And this is something science is starting to prove. It's not woo-woo. It's not, just hearsay. They've scientifically proven that it is so important to cleanse your energy body. Now, many people may think that our soul is within our body. They say our soul is outside of our body. Our body is inside our soul, which is our life force energy around us. And with trauma, with, traumatic events, it can cause locks of energy blocked in our nervous system. And when our nervous system is locked up and has any trauma that is stuck there, it starts feeding into our mind. So our brain, our eyes, so I want to start with our eyes, are connected to our brain, which is connected to our spinal cord, which is connected to our nervous system. And so when we realize, if I'm looking at you, my eyes are on the phone. Many times we have the phone down, right? And we're looking down. Our eyes are in an emotional state, and they actually found and did scientific, I actually have the data someone sent me recently of since 2007, when I believe that's when iPhones came out, they noticed the depression increased every year since the iPhone, when we had a computer in our hand to constantly be attached and connected to the internet. And teens' depression has shot through the roof since 2007, since these phones have been in the hands of humanity. And it shows you that when we don't watch what our eyes are doing, because most of the time our eyes are down, we're in the lower level is an emotional state. When our eyes are down here, we start feeling emotions. When they're centered and across us, that's the auditory. So when we're trying to remember something we heard, we tend to go, and we look side to side. When we're thinking of an idea or an inspiration of something creative, we look up like, So where our eyes are in position, it's on purpose. It's for triggering the part of our brain that holds that information. And so we need to understand that if we're on our phones all these hours a day, and our emotional state may not be resonating at a high vibrational frequency, and our eyes are down for 8 hours a day on a phone, even if it's not at the same time, but throughout a day, imagine why we are feeling depressed, angry, sad, not in alignment with our highest selves. And we need to do things to balance ourselves. So what I'm doing right now is I'm walking amongst all these amazing oaks. I'm at a place called Oaks by the Bay. And I'm just walking barefoot, grounding myself, feeling that gratitude and joy. And then after this, I'll go and hit the water, the beach over there. And getting out in nature is so powerful and important to recalibrating our nervous system, rebalancing our chakras, where our chakras aren't some woo-woo thing either. They're actually energy portals in our body that relay information. Our root chakra is for survival, then we have the sacral, which is the feeling sense. Then we have the solar plexus, which is the doing, the thing that helps us move forward and do things. Then we have the heart, the feeling, and then we have the throat, the speaking, then we have the third eye, the seeing, and then the crown, the knowing. But if we don't get the energy flowing through our body in a harmonious way, by utilizing what God gave us, this nature, this natural earth, these elements, touching, smelling, feeling with our senses, we are missing out on healing our body. And I've done biowell scans with this as well, where it increases your immune system. So if you're feeling a little sick, get out and put your feet in the ground. If you're feeling depressed, put your bare feet in the ground. Get around nature, get around trees. just thinking like, tree huggers, hug a tree, hug a tree. It's the best medicine. You're connecting with nature, something that has a vibration higher than us. And when you connect to something that is of a natural state that has been here for hundreds of years, imagine the knowledge it has. And trees, if you don't know, trees communicate with each other through their mycelium, this little network underneath the ground, this little thin web. And if, say, this tree is sick, it talks to these trees, and these trees send nutrients to that tree that is sick. And they're a community, they're a web, and we are too. When we look at it, at that aspect that we're all connected, our heart's electromagnetic field is what connects us all, I believe, in the quantum field, not just to each other, but to beings beyond, extraterrestrials, celestial beings, energetic beings, angels, guides, past loved ones. It's all done through the heart. That's the gateway and what connects us all. If you've ever seen the movie E.T., where he's got his finger and he says, phone home, if you notice, his heart is what is lit up. The heart is the gateway. If you ever look at a picture of Jesus and the Sacred Heart, it's got the fire and flames. We have to reignite that fire within our heart, and the only way to do that is to get back to going within. The kingdom of God is within. Getting out in nature, connecting with our elements, breathing in that fresh air, really being in the present moment to witness. And when you do this, you know, meditation isn't just to quiet your mind, but it's to connect back with the present moment. And when we get in that present moment, you can watch how all of your fears and worries, like, you can surrender easier. And when you surrender and let go, and they say let go and let God, when you let that happen, things start to just fall into place. They start flowing for you. And when you are in the flow, that's when life starts working out and it becomes magical. And magical, synchronistic moments are part of our human nature. It's supposed not to be mystical and magical. It's how we're supposed to live. And when you stay in a high vibrational state long enough, and you stay there 51% of your day, okay, I want to challenge you guys. I've done this multiple times, and I'm actually going to do it again, and I want to document it, because I'm actually coming out of an emotional funk. You know, I got into some heavy energy. I was doing some healings for others, and I didn't protect myself, so they sucked my energy, not on purpose. They didn't know. I was giving myself to them because I was helping them heal, just holding space for them. But it sucked my energy, so now I need to get my energy back up. But when we do this and we meditate and quiet our mind, we're like a battery. We can drain our battery, our internal battery. Look at us like a computer. We've got all this information. We are the greatest soft technology. Every technology built was actually built by understanding human potential and communication, like phones. Well, like, we don't see the information moving through the field, but it's coming from one phone to the other. Just like our own internal communication, where we are all telepathic. We have just been drowned out by all this 5G EMF towers that slows down our ability to receive that information. Because we have neurites in our heart, 40,000 neurites, that actually pick up information from the field, and the heart gets the information before the brain. And so when we're living from that sacred heart, really focusing on the heart, we're able to pick up information. We let go of that stress, let go and let God, and watch that information come to us. And it comes in through the heart first, and then the heart sends it to the brain. And this is so powerful to understand that God gave us everything we needed to survive, to be whole and complete. We just forgot our innate God-given power. And when we hop into that authenticity and we live from the heart and start treating each other as if they're Jesus. Seriously, like, treat everybody as if they're Jesus. Hi, squirrels. Oh my gosh, there's the cutest squirrels right there. I don't know if you can see them. The little guy right there on the tree. When you start living from the heart, you notice you end up attracting, because our heart has an electromagnetic field that is 60 times greater than our thoughts. And when you sit in that heart gratitude now, as if it's already done, believing in the unseen as if it is seen, and you have faith, even faith the size of a mustard seed, watch life unfold for you in the most beautiful ways. And it's called playing the game of life. We weren't meant to struggle and be stressed and living in fear. It's time that we come out and start creating this new world and, you know, this new age that we're coming into of peace, love, and unity. And it all starts without pointing a finger at someone else going, you need to change, you need to do this, you need to do this. It all stems from starting within ourselves And the best way to start is just meditate. Sit there for 5 minutes and don't forget about the thoughts coming in. Maybe even write down every thought that comes in your mind in those 5 minutes, and then analyze them and go, is this truth? Do I want to hold on? Is this serving me anymore? And if not, let it go. Put it away. And then start visualizing your ideal life. Because if you put attention where attention goes, energy flows. And you need to start visualizing where it is you want to be in the next 6 months, 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. Visualizing it, feeling it from the heart as if it's already done. And don't ever feel even the slightest bit that it's not possible, because if we had this thought, it means it's in our field somewhere, that it is a possibility of one of our potential timelines, and we have a choice. We can either give it up and go, this isn't going to happen, it's impossible. But when you realize nothing is impossible and everything is possible, and if you thought of it and you felt it for a moment as being something you desire, then follow it, because that will lead you to your highest self, following your highest timeline, to live in this new earth frequency of love, peace, and unity. And when more people give themselves permission to be in this vibrational state and to follow their heart, maybe, I'm not saying quit your job and just jump into what that desire is, but maybe follow that desire, and then that becomes your job, and your work job becomes your hobby, until you can let go of that, hobby, and focus on that full-time job that you created that is bringing you joy. But we've got to find more things that bring us joy in our life in order to raise the vibration. If you're only going to work every day, coming home, going to the grocery store, going to bed, feeding the kids, getting them ready, taking them here and there, and you're kind of living like Groundhog's Day. So important that we find even just 10 minutes a day of doing something we enjoy. Maybe it's sitting out in nature, maybe it's reading a book, maybe it's jamming out to your favorite song, maybe it's writing, maybe taking photos, whatever it is that you enjoy. Find 10 minutes a day to do that for you, because that 10 minutes will compound continuously day after day. And that's the energy, that creativity that's within all of us. When we get into that creative spark, energy flows from us in such a pure state that it starts attracting more of what we desire. And this is not woo-woo stuff. It's scientifically proven that our thoughts, our beliefs, and our intentions create the reality we live in. We are co-creators of our reality. And we need to start showing up more consciously aware of what we are thinking about and what our intent is for our future. Not just our own, but for the collective of humanity. And I know my mission is to bring peace, love, and unity through community, and remember who we are, that we are divine sparks of God, all coming here to remember how to love ourselves back to life and love one another. Love your neighbor as yourself, because we are all one. Our hearts are all beating at the synchronicity of Mother Earth, that Schumann resonance. And when we're walking with our bare feet in the ground, hugging those trees, we are connecting back to that resonance. And when we all can do that and get out of this chaotic fear state, that's when we're going to bring that peace on earth. And so I hope that I went on multiple topics on this live, so I hope you got something out of it, and that you can take it into your life and just show up a little bit nicer, kinder, happier to yourselves and others, and just spread the love. Let's just spread the love, guys. All right, I wish you many blessings, miracles, and synchronicities today. I'll catch you later.